What's going on, guys? Norms Forum coming at you guys today with another video. We got another preview going on. Week 10. We got the 6-2 Detroit Lions coming into LA Chargers at 4-4, walking into SoFi and playing the LA Chargers. Lions coming at 6-2, like I said. Chargers 4-4, second in the AFC West. Tough road game battle. The Chargers have won 2 in a row. They did beat the Jets and the Bears, though. But still, hey, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. The Chargers are a little bit of a tricky team. Got lots of stars on that team. Just haven't really clicked, it seems like. But the last 2 games, they have won. But let's get to the injury report right away. We talk about the Detroit Lions because they are the road team. So let's get to that. It's not a long list. It's a list, but there's a couple guys for sure will not be playing. And but there's a couple of guys that were on the list, but looks like they are a go. And it's like Dan Campbell came out and said that first time that they've had the 53 since like training camp, all practicing, all contributing somehow out on the field. You know, guys like C.J. Garner-Johnson out, obviously, James Houston, guys on IR, not really there, but they're 53 have all finally gotten together, practiced all week, and that's a good thing. So, but let's get down to the guys that will be out for sure. Halapula Vaitai, offensive guard. He got that back issue, did not practice. He will be out. Defensive tackle Levi Onwuzurike has a hip problem, did not practice. He's doubtful, so he's not going to be going. We got some surprising news. I didn't know that this happened, but the wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones got a rib injury. I'm hearing, and I don't know how true this is, I'm hearing that Brad Holmes knew about the rib injury before acquiring him. They didn't give up a lot to get him. But he does have some type of rib injury. He was a limited practice on the Friday. Not really sure what happened Saturday, probably on a plane anyways. But limited practice, he's questionable. There's talks about he might not even dress for this game because he's not ready with the playbook and, you know, the injury. So it might be another week before we see Donovan Peoples-Jones. We'll find out at about 3 o'clock. His game's on 4:05, so 3:05 we should find out when Donovan Peoples-Jones will be available. But yeah, onto another guy, offensive tackle Dan Skipper, ribs. He was a full practice. He is questionable though. Looks like he'll be going. And then DB Khalil Dorsey, a real good special team guy. Knee injury, full practice, no injury designation, so he'll be going. Offensive guard Jonah Jackson, looks like he's making his way back. He got an ankle injury, full practice, no injury designation, so it looks like he'll be back on that left side. Running back David Montgomery, another good sign. Ribs, full practice as well. No injury designation, looks like he's going. Then center Frank Ragnow with the toe. He didn't have any issues with the calf, I think, all week. It looks like Frank Ragnow was at the healthiest of the season so far. You know, with 2 weeks off. He was a full practice pretty much the whole week. So, you know, that bye week really helped. But he was a full practice, no injury designation. Frank will be going. So lots of guys back. Still, you know, the usual suspects are out of this game. And that's fine. Hopefully Donovan Peoples-Jones can make an appearance sooner than later. We'll know more on that in a few hours. Now on to the Chargers. It's not a long list at all. They had a late addition, edge, monster, Joey Bosa. Had a type of illness. He was a full practice on Friday though, but we're hearing Saturday he was kind of thrown on that injury report. So he might not be 100%. Going to get the electrolytes in him. So there's an illness going around in the Charger locker room because cornerback Michael Davis, same thing, illness, did not practice on Friday. And there is no injury designation on him so far. So we'll know maybe GTD, game time decision. And then quarterback Justin Herbert, who's been dealing with the left finger issue. He was a full practice. He'll be going. I think it's on his non-throwing hand. So he's been seen the last couple of weeks with his hand all wrapped up. He's looking like a mummy out there. He's got his hand wrapped up, but it's on his non-throwing hand, I believe. So left finger, and he's a righty. So full practice. Looks like he's going. No injury designation. So not a big one for the Chargers at all. They're a pretty healthy team going on. So let's go to the rankings. I like to do the rankings too, guys. We'll do the Lions and the Chargers for the offense. Yards per game for Detroit Lions. This is total, air and ground. 390.6 puts them at number 2 in the NFL. Rush per game, 131.4 puts them at number 6 in the NFL. Rush per rush, for whoever's rushing the ball. They rush the ball at 4.3 yards per carry. That ties them for sixth in the NFL. Passing per game, 259.2, puts them at six. And then their QBR, 96.4, puts Goff at 11. And then sacks, they've given up 16 sacks on the season, puts them at number 5. So it's a top. It's a top O line. Now we got everybody back, even scarier. Their third down percentages into turning third downs into first downs is at a 40.7% clip. That puts them at 11 in the league. And then their possession, 33 minutes, 54 seconds they are on the field per game. That puts them at number 2. So they're always on the field. They're always driving. There's always a good chance they're going to score, field goal, touchdown, whatever. And points per game, 25. 25 points they're scoring a game. That puts them at number 9. So this offense is a top 5 to 10 offense in the NFL, all across the board, pretty much. They're doing everything that we want this year. They are a top flight offense, and if you still don't think Ben Johnson's leaving here, guys, I don't know what to tell you, because he's not staying much longer, man. After this year, I can't see it. Hopefully, we can get this man a championship. But the Chargers, let's go to the Chargers, because to the offense right away. They have a total yards of 341 per game. That's total air and ground. That puts them at 15th in the NFL. They rush for 101.1 yards a game. That puts them at 21, even though they got Austin Eckler. It's a little bit strange. Their per rush is 3.9. They're tied for 26 in the NFL. Their pass per game, 239.9. That puts them at 10. So they do throw the ball pretty well. QBR, 99.2, puts Justin Herbert at number 9 in the NFL. One of the top quarterbacks in the NFL for sure. They've given up 20 sacks on the year. That puts them at number 8. Still a pretty good old line, at least pass protecting. And their third downs, converting it to first, is at a 41.4% clip. That puts them at number 10 in the NFL. And their possessions are 28 minutes and 46 seconds per average. That puts them at 24 in the NFL. And then they're scoring 25.1 points. It's 0.1 better than the Detroit Lions. That puts them at number 8 in the NFL. So they're scoring. They got a good offense. They throw the ball really well. They don't run the ball well. I know Eckler's been kind of hurt. He's been back, though, the last few weeks. But they throw the ball. That's their bread and butter. They dump off to their running backs a ton. And Justin Herbert uses those big wide receivers as well. And he's got massive tight ends, too. So they got Parham. I think Gerald Everett's back, too. I think he's been hurt, but I think he's back. Let's go to the defense. We start off with the Lions. And then their yards per game, they're giving up 296.9 overall. Puts them at 5th in the NFL. Their rush per game, they're giving up 76.8 yards per game. That puts them at number 3. Their rush per, they're giving up 3.7 per rush. That's tied for 4th in the NFL. Their passing, they're giving up 220.1. That puts them at 15th. They're on a little bit better than middle of the road. QBR against is 84.5. That puts them at that's tied for 12th. Sacks, they've got 21 on the year. That's tied for 25th. Third down percentage, getting off the field, 32.6%. Stopping third downs at the first downs is at 32.6%. That puts them at number 2 in the NFL, so they're doing the job there. Possession, 26 minutes and 37 seconds they are on the field. Puts them at number 2 again. Points per game, they're giving up 20.6 points per game. That ties them for 13th in the NFL. So a really good defense. Not top flight, but a lot of categories they are from. They're fifth in yards per game. They stop the run. They do everything well. They're around middle of the road and stopping the pass, but they get off the field pretty fast. They're not on the field a ton, so they're very well rested, and that's good too. And they're not giving up a ton of points. They're way below the average. That puts them at 13th, so they're much better than people lead to believe. I still say they should have done something, to bolster up those sacks, because they've had a couple splash games where they had a bunch of sacks, but a couple stinkers. But we're not going to get into that, man. I shouldn't have even brought that up. But it's a great defense. It really is. It's probably a top 12 defense, maybe even better than that. Could be even a top 10. And in a lot of categories, it's top 5. So they're doing their job. They're doing their job really well, and they're going to have a tough matchup today. Now the Chargers, they're giving up 375.8 total per game. That puts them at 30. They're giving up 89.8 yards on the ground. That ties them for 6. They're giving up 3.7. That ties them with the Detroit Lions for 4th. They're giving up through the air 286 yards per game. That puts them at 32 in the league. So they struggle there, which is odd because they got insane pass rushers. Their QBR is 96.6 against. So that puts them at 24th. So quarterbacks have some success versus them. They do get to the quarterback, though. They have 31 sacks on the year. That puts them at number 2 in the NFL. Like I said, a great pass rush, but secondary is not that great. They got some guys, though, on that secondary. Asante Samuel and, Derwin James Jr., the safety. We'll talk about that in a bit. Their third down stopping, thirds into first downs, is at a 34.3% clip. That puts them at number 6 in the NFL. So they do get off the field on third down. Their possession, 31 minutes and 50 seconds per game, puts them at 25th. So they're on the field quite a bit. Their defense, then their points per game, they're giving up 21.8 points per game, puts them at 22. So you look at this defense and you see stars across the board. You see guys like Joey Bosa, you see the Khalil Macks, you see the Derwin James, you see the Asante Samuels. They have some dudes. But they're vulnerable through the air. They are, even though they have those 2 rush ends, the Bosa and Mack. Got a couple other guys too that come at you. They stop the run at a pretty good clip, but you can throw on these guys. And Detroit's not going to be afraid to run the ball on these guys because they do stop the run pretty well, but you can't be afraid to do it. So it's going to be an interesting game, but they have some holes in that defense, the Chargers, but they got some dudes too. So it'd be interesting to see what Ben Johnson dials up. That's the defense. Now on to the rosters, guys. Quarterback Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater backing him up. Running back David Montgomery is back, which is humongous. Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie out of Alabama, going to be interesting to see how they do that 1-2 punch. Craig Reynolds. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, J-Mo, Antoine Green, the rookie, Khalif Raymond, and hopefully Donovan Peoples-Jones. If you don't see Donovan Peoples-Jones, I see like a Dylan Drummond maybe coming up. I don't know the status of Tom Kennedy. I don't know if he's healthy. I know they brought him back, so we could see somebody coming up if Donovan Peoples-Jones does not dress today. Tight end Sam Laporta, the rookie out of Iowa, having a fantastic year. Brock Wright, James Mitchell, rounding that off. Left tackle Taylor Decker, you got Skipper backing him up. Left guard Jonah Jackson, great to have him back. Iwasika backing him up. Center Frank Ragnow, right guard Graham Glasgow. It's his job. That's it. Right tackle, Penei Sewell. You got Colby Souls backing up a couple guys here there too. So great to have the O-line back in business. Really good. Then the defense, we go with defensive end John Kaminsky, Josh Pascal, Charles Harrison there. Nose tackles Benito Jones. It looks like Broderick Martin has jumped Isaiah Buggs. More to come with that too. One of these guys could be a healthy scratch. I know Broderick Martin didn't do a whole hell of a lot last 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, but he ate up a lot of double teams and he let Aleem McNeil really work. So you could see Broderick Martin maybe getting another go at it because we need Aleem to get some pressure today on Justin Herbert. And then Buggs, it looks like he's backing up Martin, so who knows. And defensive tackle Aleem McNeil, rounding that off. And on the edge, Aiden Hutchinson. They got the Akwara brothers, Julian and Romeo. Then the Will linebacker, Alex Anzalone, who's having a great year. Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maben. Middle linebacker, Jack Campbell, the rookie out of Iowa. Derek Barnes, Anthony Pittman, and Trevor Nowaski could be doing some. Those guys are pretty much special teams guys right there. And then the left cornerback, Cam Sutton. You got Will Harris and Stephen Gilmore, the rookie, backing him up. And then strong safety, Kirby Joseph, Melifonwu. Free safety, Tracy Walker. Right cornerback, Jerry Jacobs, Khalil Dorsey. And then nickel cornerback, Brian Branch, the rookie out of Alabama. And then Chase Lucas. So everybody kind of healthy coming back in full circle. And then let's go to the Chargers offense. Justin Herbert, he's a good one. He's big. He can move out of the pocket. He can run. His arm is massive. He can make every throw in the NFL. So keep an eye on that guy. Running backs, Austin Eckler, Joshua Kelly, Isaiah Spiller. Wide receiver, Keenan Allen, a really good one. Quentin Johnson, the rookie, to TCU, I believe he went to. Then Jalen, Jalen Guyton, I think his name is. My writing's terrible, sorry guys. And then Simi Fehoko, and then Darius Davis, the rookie who had a punt return, I believe it was last week versus the Jets. So he got some speed. But they got some big linebackers. They got some big wide receivers over there, especially Allen and Quentin Johnson. Davis is a little bit smaller, but then they got the tight ends, Gerald Everett, who's big. Donald Parham is a huge, massive man, and really good in the red zone. That guy right there. Then left tackle Rashawn Slater, who's one of the best left tackles in the NFL. Left guard Zion Johnson. Center Will Clapp. They got Corey Linsley on that reserve, that IR, which is a good thing because Lindsey's one of the best. Right guard Jamari Salyer, and then right tackle Trey Pipkins III. So a very good offense, kind of up and down. They throw the ball extremely well. They have one of the best running backs in the NFL, but he's been hurt a little bit, been up and down. He's getting in the end zone though. So we really got to stuff that run today, and we'll find a little bit more. But the defensive end, Sebastian Joseph Day, Morgan Fox, who's a decent one out of the Rams they picked up. Nose tackle, Nick Williams. Defensive tackle, Austin Johnson. And then the left outside linebacker, edge, Joey Bosa. Tui Puloto, the rookie who can actually get to the quarterback as well, too. Then left inside linebacker, Eric Kendricks. I believe that guy is from Detroit, played for Minnesota. He's a good one. I always wanted the Lions to pick this guy up eventually if he didn't work out in Minnesota. He's been on a couple different teams since. I really like that guy, actually. Right inside linebacker, Kenneth Murray Jr., a high draft pick by them a couple years back. Then right outside linebacker, Khalil Mack, who's a monster, who's starting to get into a groove. He had a 6-game sack, six-sack game a few games ago. So, and I think he had 2 more the week before. So this guy's starting to get a little bit. He's starting to warm up. Then a left cornerback, Michael Davis. Is he hurt? If not, you can see a Dane Leonard out there. And then strong safety, Derwin James Jr., who's a big safety who plays like a linebacker. He hits like a truck. Got to really keep an eye on where he is, too. Free safety, Alohi Gilman, and then Dean Marlowe, who's been bounced around in the NFL. I remember him on the Buffalo Bills. And then right cornerback, Asante Samuel Jr., who's a good corner. He's a risk taker. He jumps routes. He's got some ball skills. And then nickelback, Jason Taylor, Jasir Taylor, or something. I think it's Jasir Taylor. Jasir Taylor rounds it off at the nickelback position. So, I've been kind of talking about the Lions' own defense. This offense, this Lions offense needs to, obviously, it's like a broken record every week. Establish the run, use the play action, because your bread and butter on this team is I think running the ball. I think we have a very good running attack. You know what I mean? I think we're very well balanced, though. I really can't say what our bread and butter is, but I think they really want to run the football, and you're going to have to run the football against this team, against the Charger defense. They do stop the run at a pretty good clip, and they're susceptible to the pass. They give up a lot of yards in the passing game. They give up touchdowns. They got those 2 edges, Bosa and Mack and whoever else they throw in there. They got some push from the inside. They got some linebacker blitzing. They got some designs that, that just kind of like confuses the quarterback. I think we're going to need to really establish the run here just to kind of put them on their heels a bit. You're not really going to stop Mack and Bosa, but you got to slow them down. You got to somehow slow them down because those guys are special. They really are. They're really good ball players. And, I expect guys like Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown to do his thing like every week. But Montgomery being back, Jahmyr Gibbs being back, we can hit him with that 1-2 with that thunder and lightning. We can throw him off guard. Ben Johnson's going to really have to call a really nice game here. That Chargers offense, though, they rely on Justin Herbert. They rely on Austin Eckler. Obviously, their quarterback and their running back situation right there, but they love to throw the ball. They got big wide receivers. They got a young wide receiver in Quentin Johnson who's starting to come around. Keenan Allen, who's probably a Hall of Fame wide receiver eventually when it's all said and done. You have massive size in their tight ends with Everett and Parham Jr., who do get open, who use their bodies really well to shield other defenders. Parham is a monster in the red zone. Their O-line is good. Slater's kind of locking it down there. They have some injuries though going on with with their top center being out. They're going to want to run the football against us too, but we stopped the run. They don't have a great running attack because, like I said, Eckler was hurt for 3-4 games, I believe it was. It might be even less, but he was hurt. So they're going to want to run the football against us because, if they just let us pin our ears back and come at them, it could be a situation. We need to get to Herbert though. Hutchinson needs to do his job. The Akwara brothers, Charles Harris, Kaminsky, who's been a ghost, I think, this year, needs to step up his game. And Maleem McNeil, too, I expect a big game from him as well, too, to get that inside push, to get Herbert kind of, having him with the blinkers going on. We need him to be looking around, man, in fear, because if we let Herbert sit back, he will carve us apart. We don't have a great pass defense. It's around middle of the pack, maybe a little bit better, but they give up big plays. The Lions can give up big plays, and they got the guys to do it. They have the Keenan Allens, the Quentin Johnsons. They love to dump off the ball to their running backs too. And I think I've seen a graphic as well that we're one of the best teams in the NFL at stopping the pass to the running back. So we kind of shut that down. And this is a huge test because Eckler, that's his thing. That's what he does probably the best, is yards after the catch. He gets a little screen out of the backfield. He gets a little dump off, and he's gone. He's just so slippery. He's so quick. He's got great vision. He can jump cut. He does everything well. This is a guy that's undrafted as well too, which is crazy. And he's just showing that sometimes the draft just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we're gonna have to really come at Justin Herbert to stop him. I think we're gonna be able to stop the run altogether. Eckler's gonna do his thing. He's gonna have some big time runs through the air or on the ground. But you're going to have to somehow slow those guys down. So my score prediction, I'm going to pick the Lions here. I'm a little bit nervous about this game. Even though the Chargers have kind of resurged a bit. Like I said, they beat the Bears and the Jets. I'm not going to discredit any type of win in the NFL. But the Bears are a terrible football team. The Jets are a complete... I don't even know what the Jets are. They have a really good defense. Their quarterback situation is terrible. They have a terrible offense. And I think they put up 6 points against the Chargers. And the Chargers, they're kind of one of those teams too. They're always talking about firing their head coach. They've been talking about firing him for the last 2 years. Brandon Staley. And then all of a sudden, a little resurgence. All of a sudden, the Chargers are back. Now we're not the Bears. We're not the Jets. And like I'm saying, not discrediting, but we're not those teams. I just, we have to come out. This is a tough road game. It is a tough road game. And we know how sometimes this offense plays on the road. Sometimes they play on the road. Sometimes they sit back. They're not out there. They're not fired up right away. It takes them a little bit to get going. I think they can't be slow coming out of the gate. They really got to get into the end zone on your first possession, and then we go from there. But they really need to make some noise right away, man. Don't start off slow against this Chargers team. It could get interesting. But my score prediction, 27-20 Detroit Football Lions. A little nervous about it, but I think we got this. I think we're better than the Chargers. Now we're scoreboard watching. Now everybody's scoreboard watching. We're starting the second half of our season. And, we got the Minnesota Vikings right behind us. Minnesota Vikings are what? We're a game and a half up on them. Game and a half. The Bears won, but I'm not worried about the Bears. The Packers won, but I'm not worried about the Packers. But look out for the Minnesota Vikings. We need to get a bigger cushion there right now. So, 27-20 Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be a great game. Everybody get loud. Everybody get silly. If you're cheering from home, get loud, get silly then too. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate the video. You guys coming in and watching me. And don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe on the bottom right. Get that YouTube button going. Give it a pop. Don't forget to hit this the notification bell up top. Like, comment, share this out. Go Lions, 27-20. One pride. Let's go, baby. Boom.